It's Talk Tonight, the podcast of delights, and don't you know it? Talk Tonight, it's Talk Tonight.
This is Anto Holland, and this is your Talk Tonight podcast. Today, or tonight, this evening, he's not actually looking at me. He's looking at a different screen. We'll talk about that in a second. Don't worry about it. He is.
Pre-warn you.
He is with us. It's Daniel from the Utopiates, and they are from London. And you probably hear him talking. I mean, I got confused a minute ago because I'd done some research and everything else. And he sent me a voice message, and it's like, sounds like he's fucking from Leeds or something, or Manchester.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, have I got the going through the piece of paper? Like, shit, I've got their own fucking band. So yeah, he's from London. You're a fairly new band. Really fresh. I mean, you started it. We'll talk about it. You started in COVID and all that, which is mad. So first of all, explain who you are, who's in the band, what you're called, where your main place is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I guess we're from all over, really, as is the case with, I'm sure, a lot of London bands and anyone who lives in London. Always a bit of a mixed bag. As you can tell, this is not an East London accent. I'm from Leeds originally, so I'm Leeds born and bred. I've just lived in London last few years, and yeah, got this project going last year. Myself, who's the singer, rhythm guitar. We've got Josh Redding from Northampton on lead guitar. We've got Ed Godshaw from Bristol on key.
All over the gaff.
We really are a mixed bag. It's quite cool though. I like that we're from all over, and it's kind of served us well with our online following so far. Because obviously, when you start out, you're begging.
You've got quite a big, quick spur of.
Yeah, we have.
I mean, I was just looking at your song. Is that Only Human? Is that one's on like nearly 14,000 streams? That, I'll tell you, mate, for a new band, that's big, man. Because I think you've only got another one other song on there, haven't you, at the moment?
The Antidote, yeah. Oh, Antidote.
I mean that's touching. That's like 2.5, which is decent. Looking at most bands who started 5 years ago be well chuffed with that. Do you know what I mean? So, hey, how did you all meet from being all over the gaff like that?
So yeah, I mean, there is one Londoner within the group, and that's Luke Nottingham on bass, and then Matt Dacey, who's our drummer, is Sheffield, so a fellow Yorkshireman like myself. So yeah, I've known Luke for years and years. Me and him met at uni in God, I don't even know what year it was, but 18 years old, fresh-faced, in Manchester, and we were in a band together then that never really got going. It was more a piss up and a laugh back then when we were young. Never really took it seriously, but always kept in touch. You know, he's a good mate. And we've always talked about doing projects again, but then being in different cities. I moved back to Leeds and I lived in Leeds a few years. I've been in various projects, but if I'm honest, I've never fully really gone for it in that you've got to work hard at it. You've got to do all the things behind the scenes.
It's not all fun and games, is it, mate?
It's really not.
No.
Honestly, and like in this day and age, it's a brilliant thing, is the internet and social media and getting your stuff out there. But it also means that your roles within the band, you're not just the guitarist or the bassist. You're the publicist. And
I know, this is what I was going to touch on. I wanted to touch on management, and I think you just self-manage, which again, me just doing all this, I've cut them down by quite a bit now, because it was just getting too much. Management of it, promotion, everything, man.
Yeah, no, you'll understand, man. I know exactly how it is. Because obviously we're doing brilliant online and everything, but there's a lot of work goes into it behind the scenes. Ed and Luke have got really good experience in various musical projects they've been in and what they do for a living and stuff, like the day job, so to speak. You know, it's not just writing and producing the songs. It's once they're out, where like, you know, Luke's absolutely amazing at doing the promotion, but he's always on at me because I'm quite lazy with it, to be honest. I just want to write a tune and when am I famous, Luke, sort it out, you know. And then, no, but he's on at me. He's like, mate, we need to be trying to reach out to at least 10, you know.
It's the right way to be, mate. It's the right way to be.
Well, exactly, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know exactly how you came across our tunes, but I'm fairly sure it will have been from.
Do you know what? It was to do with a lad from who we used to go to school with. I'll mention him because he might watch this. His name's Matt Old, and he tagged me on Instagram on something that came up, and he was like, and then I looked over, I was like, fucking hell, got, you know, quite a good following there. You've got to be on it. I'll be honest. You've got to always look at what's going on with the following a little bit. You've got to, you know, when you're doing these things. And so I listened to a few tunes and that. Well, no, the tunes that's on. Is it Only Human that's on?
And Antidote.
That's it. I'm not too sure which one I heard first. Pretty sure I heard something on Instagram, and that's what got me into you. Because you've got they've got like a deep rock and roll, slight bassy indie. It's hard to explain. More rock and roll for me. Rock hard like rock. Do you know what I mean?
We're definitely a mixed bag. And these first two tunes that you're hearing, obvious comparisons, which I'm proud of. Definitely, is like New Order and The Cure.
Definitely.
And the 80s kind of new wave stuff. People have said like, oh, they sound like, you know, Depeche Mode and that, which we love because we all think that they make great music and everything.
At least you're hearing it. At least you're hearing a few names people are shouting at you, because that means there's lots of inspirations there. You're not just going off and copying a band. You know what I mean? There's inspirations from what you've listened to.
I love that, and I said to the lads pretty early on, it's really cool that there's a lot of bands being mentioned actually, and I think that's probably means that we're doing something right, because we're a good, you know, sort of melting pot of various sorts of bands. But you know, we've only got 2 songs out there. We've got, honestly, I'm not even just like saying this to give it the big one, but we've got 50 demos made and produced. They're the demo quality, but
you'll have to send me some of them.
They're definitely there, and we have a clear map of, you know, we have it mapped out. That which songs we're going to release when, and what sort of, you know, angle we'll take on the production, and what we want to try and do next, and give us the next.
Sometimes find it confusing, mate, with all the stuff that you've got. It's all right going into your room like you now. I take it you're the songwriter.
Yeah, and this.
You go into your room, don't you? You write a song, you think this is great, but then all the other stuff, man. It's getting the demo done. It's getting the social media's got to be right. You can't just scatter it all over the place in different places.
No. Which is exactly why I say, like, the last project. So when I say I've never given it a proper go, of course I have. I've got hundreds of gigs under my belt, and performance-wise and songwriting, you know, it's not come overnight. It's taken years for me to.
You're talking about the band in general getting.
Yeah, I'm talking about being, you know, not just treating it as a piss up, basically. Being in a band that's willing to play the game, understand how you have to release, because it's changed a lot in only 10 years, you know, since when I first started gigging and performing and writing, and, you know, the whole thing of Spotify and releasing songs monthly and everything, you know, there's good and bad sides to it. But if you do it correctly and you promote everything and you work hard behind the scenes, and obviously your songs have to be good, but you can give yourself a much better platform to get your stuff out there. And we're living proof of that, because, I mean, we haven't actually played a gig yet.
You know what? It's actually not a bad time for you to fall and do this, because
exactly
this is where people are now. I've spoke about this in previous podcasts. It's like, you know, when I go out with my missus again, we like to go out watch bands and shit like that, you know. Or sometimes someone will come to me and go, oh, you come to watch so and so, Joe Bloggs in the I've never heard of him, can't be arsed. I'll go down there. But when someone says, you come into the pub to watch so and so, who I've never heard of, again, I'm there. because I just want to go, mate. And then that's when bands like yourself they go in to grab those people that haven't been out in a long time, really want to hear something new, really want to hear anything. Because a lot of people's mindsets have fucking changed, mate. It's changed. Mine has. I used to be one to be like, in my older age now, I can't be asked going out tonight. But I tell you what, mate, I'm fucking going out every time someone asks me to go out. I'm going out, mate.
Too right. I'm not even just saying it. I mean, I might, some people might accuse me of being a dreamer or whatever, but I firmly believe, obviously it's been awful what's, the pandemic, and everybody has had a terrible time in the last year, whether they've been affected directly or whatever. But I firmly believe that there's going to be some good times to come in the next couple of years. And when we come out of this thing, I really think people are going to massively appreciate, socializing.
Music alone, mate, is going to be massive.
Just everything, whatever your passion is, whatever you've not been able to do for the last year, people are going to really, go for it. And I think, live events and gigs and festivals and stuff, it might be a little bit hit or miss this summer. There'll be some things going on.
You know what though, mates? I think there's an end in sight though,
definitely.
At least I know that next year I can almost guarantee to the world it will happen next year, because this vaccination will be done and it will be on the road to recovery, and music will be the first one back, mates.
100%. And this year, I don't want to sound like I was being half doom and gloom there. Good times are coming, and they're coming soon. We just need to get this vaccine sorted and hopefully get back to some kind of normality. But it really feels like there's a definite sort of need and for live music and for good music and for the alternative to come back again. I really think that it's
do you feel like guitar music's making a comeback, mate?
That's what I mean. Yeah, definitely.
Isn't it?
I mean, look at some of the bands that are getting big at the minute. Fontaine's DC just won a Grammy, haven't they? And like they look like they're going to be massive.
Even the Lathams, mate. I mean, they're a guitar band, really, aren't they? Do you know what I mean?
Hear about we're loving some bands that are coming out at the minute. Squid, Hallen are a band. Small.
The Crooks.
I really feel like they can be. Yard Act from Leeds. I can't stop listening to their singles.
The Crooks.
They're absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, sorry. The Crooks. Have you seen them?
I haven't actually.
Check them. They're from Chesterfield.
But it really and the reception to our songs. We've had absolute legends messaging us saying, we're so happy that you're making songs like this, because we want to hear songs like this, and hopefully it'll serve as well. And
we'll jump onto that, mate, if you don't mind, the songwriting and the songwriting process. Yeah, of course. And you're the songwriter. I mean, where's these songs coming from for you, mate? And how many have you got? Have you got a back? Because this is one thing I'll say to you is that yourself that when someone knocks on that door and they come to you and they say, we want to sign you, but the first question they're going to ask you, mate, is we need to see a catalogue of songs. We ain't just signing you on two songs. Have you got a good amount of songs you feel that are good enough? Do you know what I mean? I don't mean that to sound horrible or cuntish.
No, mate, that's a good question. Of course, it's a good question, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I firmly believe I've written good songs in the past, and they could maybe stand up now, but I'm in a real good, rich vein of songwriting at the minute. And basically, since the pandemic hit, and like I say, it's been absolutely terrible for everyone out there, and myself included. It hasn't been amazing, but I decided, I was like, right, you know what, I'm gonna get proper stuck into my songwriting again, and it's been a few years since I've actually written songs. I actually turned my back on it for a bit, for various reasons.
You know what, mate, that's fucking healthy though, that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's healthy.
It has been, because I haven't been forcing it. and I've not written songs. And it's not as if I listen to music in any different way. I still listen to songs where I'm like, oh, I love that bass there, or I love what they've done there on the chorus and stuff. I'm still like picking apart songs and thinking, oh, that'd be cool. And I don't know what. I think I'm just storing it somewhere. And from when I wrote the first song of, you know, the last sort of year or so, it just started really pouring out of me. I know this sounds really cheesy. It might sound a bit up my own arse and everything, but I almost started getting this paranoia of like, what if it runs out? What if I can't do another good
So
one?
then you feel like you've got to get up all the time and go write songs.
And I quickly became like obsessed. I'm quite like that as a person anyway. If I'm going to do
well, you
something.
never know though, because the battery might run out. Like you say, you're right to do that. If you've got something in you, you get them done there and then.
And I always feel like I'm only as good as my last song. So if I go like 2 or 3 songs where because obviously I'm not saying everything I write is great. Obviously I write shit as well. Yeah. But sometimes when I've written 1 or 2 and I think, oh, they're crap, what am I doing? It's a good motivation actually, because I always think, oh, well, I need to write one as good as, 4 songs ago. And it's really spurred me on. And I keep thinking like, because I've got all this time, I need to keep writing, which, it's funny because, I live here in London with my missus and she just laughs at me at how obsessed I am by it. Do you know what I mean? And I keep saying to her,
you've got to be obsessed.
I keep going, oh, well, I'll write these next few songs and then it'll be out and then I'll take it easy and we'll promote it and whatever. And that's when, again, my bassist Luke is going, well, we should promote these songs, Dan, otherwise nobody will ever want to hear you. And I'm over here writing fucking album 4, track 8. Do you know what I mean? It's
you know what, mate? Conor McGregor said this. He said to achieve the best, you've got to be obsessed. And he's so fucking right, man. If you're not obsessed with what you do and love, you're not going anywhere. You got to be obsessed.
It's true. I'm properly addicted to like finishing something and going, you know what, people are going to love that. I mean, we'll see if I'm proved right. But I've gone in a roundabout way of answering your question. But we've got a good 50 demos done, and we keep them in different folders on our shared Utopiates Google Drive, because obviously I'm uploading them straight away. So the lads get a bit sick of me sometimes. So I'm like, I've got another new one. But I'm always like saying to them, I get very excited, man. I'm always like, forget that one. Yeah, I've got another one. And they're just like laughing at me. But we keep them stored in like 3 different folders, and one that's very arrogantly entitled Hits. And then and 2 more. We've got one that's called Hits. I've got one that's called B-sides, even though B-sides aren't even
it's
a thing.
It's not a bad idea, though, that. At least you're categorising them, what you feel about them. You've got to know which ones, when you go to that folder, which one do I want to hit? I need a hit out now. I'm going to fucking go for that one.
And I do, we've got another folder that's just ideas, because I know I've written a few where the verse I love, but the chorus is shit, or vice versa. Yeah. And I don't want to sit here and take all the credit. Like the original ideas and words and general mood and vibe are mine. Yeah. But I would definitely be nothing without the lads who
they put a sound to it as well, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I mean, Ed on keys is absolutely fantastic, and Josh, our lead guitarist, is honestly, I'd say he's like virtuosic. I've never seen a guitarist who plays like him. Like, I play guitar to a all right level. I'm just more of a Joe Strummer type, strumming with the chords, playing. Yeah. So I think I can write all right little riffs, but it's reassuring now that I don't need to stress over the riffs, because I'll put a little riff down of like an idea. And then I always look at Josh and go, when we get together in rehearsals, I go, well, I've written this, but I know you're going to make it 10 times better. Half of the time he just forgets what I've even put down, and what he does, I'm like, wow, that is amazing. And it's same for us all. I put very simple little beats in there, but it's only like the bare bones of it. A drum will take it further. Same with the bass lines. I'll have a general feeling and the general sort of, I'm quite good at writing a groove, like the general vibe of it, but definitely when we bring it all together, each member of the band makes each part that I've written
Yeah.
10 times better, and then and it seems to be a really good process.
What's your process when you know a song's coming, mate? You know, have you got guitars around the house? You quickly run up and you know, it's like walking in the supermarket. One comes, you start humming to yourself, or what?
You know what? I literally used to think this kind of talk was quite cheesy and big-headed, that people would be like, oh yeah, it just comes to me in my sleep or whatever, because I used to think bollocks does it, like you do have to work hard at it. They don't just like always come to you. But it is definitely a thing of the more you write, the more practice you get. They do actually
start stringing together easier. Do you know what I mean?
I do sometimes like I can't sleep at night, and I'm like, oh, should have gone to a C on that bridge, and then I'll write it down in my phone. The missus is like next to me, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, no, writing down song ideas. Trust me.
Trust me.
Yeah, it looks a bit dodged, doesn't it? Like 2 a.m. I'm like typing up my phone like that, trying not to
looking away.
I'm literally writing down some lyric or something. So sometimes little ideas come to you, but generally you have to work at them. But the thing I'm going for here, which I've never sort of tried before, and I'm really happy that I've really got stuck into the production, because I've been able to do bits and bats of production, but I've definitely got better in this last year. I've started writing songs not from sitting there with an acoustic guitar, because I'm a guitarist. I used to always just strum chords, write the words, but I'd only write songs down on a piece of paper, and you just have just the chords and the lyrics. But that's a really tough thing to then get into a rehearsal space with 4 other guys and be like, right, this is what I'm imagining, because it's all in your head. What I've done is I've started writing songs from like the beat first, or the groove first, and I've made sure that it's not just the guitar I'm putting down. I know that there's a bit of a riff or a hook or a groove or something in there. So quite often I'll sometimes just sit there and I'll put in like a bit of a drum loop. Like I'll just write one in there on Logic, and I'll think, oh, that's cool.
That can sometimes help you do it. Finish a song. You can always take the drums out afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I mean, and it can always change. But at least basically, I think this has sped our process up so much, because obviously rehearsing has been a little bit hit or miss because we've been coming in and out of lockdowns. We've generally been able to do it, but there's been gaps in between where studios have closed and stuff like that. But we've been able to put songs together really quick, because my demos are so sort of detailed that the lads have a really good idea of what they're doing already, and quite often they'll have already changed my parts that do you know what I mean when I'm talking about the guitar riffs? Like I can't play keys, but I'll write in keys. But my keys player, I mean, he's a classically trained pianist. He's absolutely amazing. But he's not a show off. He's got a real ear for adding synths and strings and whatever sound. But he's already changed it before we got to practice. So actually, sometimes we'll just start playing the song and the guys already know them. So it speeds things up massively. And not that anyone would listen to my advice yet, but there's any songwriters out there who write in the same way I did for years, definitely get to grips with music software and Logic, and start really recording your ideas and developing them properly first.
It helps with the songwriting a bit, adding stuff to it.
Hugely helps, and plus it tells me straight away, oh, I can go, that was not a good idea. Do you know what I mean? I'll just delete it and then I'll never play it. So it makes you look like you're class all the time, because it's like you've never had a bad idea. In truth, I've had 100 terrible ideas, but I've already recognised it and deleted it. You know what I mean? It does. It's huge.
How did you think? I mean, you've got you've put an acoustic version of Only Human on tonight on Instagram, haven't you? Which I fucking love, by the way. It almost makes it sound like a different fucking song. It's mad.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
And it's just a great song anyway. Have you been quite surprised at the reception of that on Spotify? Because that's touching 14,000 streams. That, I mean, how the fucking hell has that happened? I mean, and it's a great song, but for an
I was gonna say,
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, but honestly, I've heard great songs, great songs. I have,
Yeah,
and,
no.
and still they're not even touching 1,000. So
100,
you know,
100.
how have you got that? You know, you've got to have got it out there somewhere.
Yeah, and it's all a promotion, but it's like I say, you've got to play the game. So we've all, you can. It's all things that I used to scoff at and roll my eyes at when I was 22, and be like, "Well, that's not rock and roll." Do you know what I mean? We've put together what little bit of budget we have, which is bugger all. But you've got to boost your ads. You can target ads. You can do quite a lot behind the scenes to sort of promote it, and then also, I guess the stuff that's a bit more organic that I keep saying that Luke's amazing at, like our Twitter is so well run. He just messages people all the time, and it's massively down to people like yourself.
Hard work, mate.
Well, I was going to say people like yourself. I was going to big you up there, man.
Go on.
No, but honestly, one thing I've because, like I say, I've not been writing and trying to put music out there. I'm so encouraged by how many people are out there trying to get good music heard and that want good music out there. And you doing this podcast is amazing. It's brilliant. And there's a lot of people out there doing that. And I just think it's such a beautiful thing that, it says to me.
It really is, mate. And that is honestly the only.
No,
I don't get nothing else. I fucking love new music, and I think people deserve to be heard. If I can help, you can get one stream extra. Fucking great. Do you know what I mean?
It's great. It's absolutely great for everybody who's out there trying to make music. There's fans out there trying to share music, write about music, do a podcast, do a playlist, or even if you're not doing something like that, there's so many people out there who are so encouraging to people they don't know, which I find just a beautiful thing.
Do you find that's changed a lot since COVID as well? People have become more loving towards each other and a little bit more understanding of each other. I tend to find that a little bit.
I think maybe, and people, they want and need something to look forward to. Definitely. I don't know. I just don't remember. I'm trying to think back to my last sort of serious music project. Maybe I just didn't tap into it enough, but I just think there is a growing community, and there is a lot more people who recognize that, playlists on Spotify I don't want to keep mentioning Spotify because they rip off artists, but like, YouTube channels and blogs and
Spotify is a great place though to get your music heard in it.
It really is, and I hate to like
you have to get it heard because you don't make a lot of money as a band these days on streaming anyway. No. So you've got to get them heard to be able to go out and play them live for people to fucking sing them back to you, mates.
But do you know how many emails we've been getting at the same time? The stream's absolutely amazing. Like, please keep listening on Spotify. I don't want to rubbish it too much because for unsigned small acts like us, we need it and we want them numbers to be high so that we can one day go, well, look at us, like, and somebody will, pick us up or whatever will happen. But do you know how many emails we get a day off Bandcamp and people actually buy our singles?
Oh, do they? Yeah. That's all right,
people choose how much they spend on it as well. People put in extra on it. People, it's. I think I'm blown away by people like that. They don't have to do that. They've got Spotify.
You know what? I should start doing that. I don't even know.
They want to do it. You know what? I'm the biggest fucking hypocrite ever. Honestly. We come from that generation of waiting for LimeWire to download.
Yeah, LimeWire, Jesus Christ. More, mate. Yeah.
Napster and all that. Like, I used to wait hours for like 4 singles to download for free. But it's so ingrained in us, even later on. Now, we don't think anything's Spotify streaming because honestly, ignorance is bliss, and I guess you know, the first few years of Spotify being big, you think, oh, well, this is legit. You know what I mean? I pay my subscription and bands are getting paid, but they're getting ripped off. But I just find it amazing how many legends there are out there. And thank you so much to all of our fans who've jumped on board so far, who go out the way to buy it and they want it and they want to own it. And it says to me that, you know, the sort of the, you know, it's not a dying thing, the single and the album and stuff like that. A lot of people say that it's all about streaming and content and people only listen for 30 seconds. I've watched countless documentaries about how you should write all your songs to be 2 minutes long because people won't get to the end of it. You should start with your chorus. And you should, you know what I mean? There's people buy into this and everything. And I do think it's found its way into songwriting and pop
music. You know what, mate? I can't stand music critics, me, because what the fuck are you? If you don't like a song, there should be no such thing as a music critic. Sorry, like, but there's something for someone and there's something for someone else. You know, you can critic a song, but someone else might fucking like it because everyone's got a different opinion. They shouldn't even have a job, mate. It's an unexisting job.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Touch wood, and thankfully we've
not been criticised.
We haven't been. Well, no, that's a lie. Of course, we've been criticised. Jesus, like the social media thing it's a brutal place. Like, how many people? Mate, what's been encouraging to us is what people are finding offensive about us is the video. You know, me walking round an empty East London. I'm walking into the camera. But we've actually said this is really encouraging, actually, because people are not slagging off the song. So we actually like it because people are going, oh, it's a good tune, but a really shit video. So it's like, but they don't understand. Some people are not looking at it like these are.
Oasis made so many shite videos.
Yeah, they did, and I still love them.
And as time goes by, we love them all. So they've made so much shit, mate. It's unreal. Like, honestly,
that Only Human video. Oh, people have rinsed us on like.
Have they? Yeah.
Well, not rinsed us. Sorry, it's one negative one every sort of 10 comments, and like I say, picking apart the video because a lot of people are like, oh, it's all been done before and that kind of thing. And but the thing is, they don't realise that we did that real last minute. Me and my keys player Ed, he insisted because I'm, like I say, I'm a bit shit at the promotion. I was just like, oh, we haven't got a video, bollocks, we'll put it out. And Ed was like, if you haven't got a video, mate, like you've got nothing to like watch on social media.
You've got to have a video, haven't you? Yeah.
So I was like, well, what are we gonna do? Because there is a backstory. We tried to make a video in October, November, and we sort of chipped in a bit of money. We tried to spend a bit of money. We got a couple of mates to help us, and we had this really ridiculous storyline because the song's about the state of society and social media and it's basically that's what Only Human's about, is slagging off this internet generation, which is quite ironic actually.
Which we all use to promote ourselves.
It's so ironic, it's ridiculous. Like
it's a disease though, mate.
No, yeah, it's looking at the bad side, but it's also there's some positive, small bit of positivity in there. It's not all bad, but it is generally slagging it off. And it's been, well, we didn't know this was going to happen when we decided it being the first tune, but it's been the only thing or way we can get our tune out. But we had this big epic video planned that was going to be like Black Mirror round East London, and our budget was like bloody 500 quid, and it was ridiculous. I was like getting extras in there. We even set up a green screen next to a bloody warehouse where we planned all sorts, and at the end of the day, right, it looked so shit. We were just like, oh god, we got way
so shit.
It was just it wasn't what we thought it was going to be, basically, and anyone's fault. Well, but actually, you know what? I'll hold my hands up and say it was probably my fault. I got way ahead of myself and believed my own bullshit.
You gotta have a dream, though, man. They don't always come true. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? It was ridiculous, and maybe I might send you it just so you can see.
Fucking hell, I love that.
Share it anyway, mate.
I'll have a doobie after and have a watch.
You'll be cracking up laughing. I'm telling you. But,
listen, mate. What's the plans for you? I mean, you've got not a lot out on Spotify, which is sound because what you have got out, it's. I think it's quality above quantity for me. Too many people put too much fucking stuff out. It's like, oh, what are you doing? You're rushing shit out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What's the plans? I mean, gigs wise, you've got to still plan for gigs this year, even though COVID's still fucking us about.
Yeah.
And you've got a plan for new music to be released. What's going on with music, and then what's going on with plans for the year, so people can know before we end it, mate.
Yeah, so we've got big plans. We're basically going to be releasing a single every month. So the next one is a track that's called Alpha. That'll be out end of this month. I can't give an exact date because we're still just finishing video stuff and final mix. And then, basically we've got it mapped out to do a single each month. And then the good news about gigging and what we're absolutely buzzing about is we've just been booked to play the Sunshine Weekend event.
That's it.
Sunshine Weekend, the Sunshine Summer Party.
That's the one. Yeah,
we're playing the
before on Instagram. Yeah, I had a read of that. That's decent. That.
Yeah, really good. John Powers headlining it.
Oh, mate, I'm one of his biggest fucking fans.
You know, I had a feeling you might say that. Are you from nearish there?
Near Liverpool, yeah. I'm one of his biggest.
Let me have a guess. Southport.
No, I'm not actually. I'm actually near Chester, to be honest. But
Chester.
Everyone says the same, but you know.
I only say that because you sound a lot like an old friend of mine who was from that.
Everyone. If I go to fucking Benidorm or somewhere, mate, everyone thinks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But John Power, mate.
Yeah.
It's only today I was listening to the Cast album, Free and all that, Free Me and stuff like that. And it's only today, literally, when I was working. So it's mad to say that, but John Power, mate, what a fucking lad.
So we're buzzing that we've got that book. That's something we've been working on this week. I'm happy that that they've announced it, and I can let you know that. So that's.
Do you ever have any difficulties with that? And I don't mean to sound horrible because you say you're a new band.
Yeah.
But gigging, you know, these people haven't seen you live yet. Do you know what I mean? If you know what I mean. So booking you for a gig is kind of a little bit, you know, they're taking a bit of a fucking gamble on you. So that first one, mate, you're gonna have to make sure you film the fucker and make sure it's bang on, and then put it out, and then people can see what you're like live. Do you know what I mean?
I know. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay on there.
Yeah, it's all right. Don't worry about it. It's shitty internet.
Can you hear me? Can you pick me up? Oh yeah. No, but you're right, and it's not lost on us. But to be honest, we've been ready for a gig since last September, honestly, and we've had that process of being like, right, we're ready now, let's go and get a gig, and we had stuff in the pipeline, and then another lockdown hit or something. I can't even. It's mad to think this last year, isn't it? I can't even remember the
September.
time.
It was just after September, yeah.
When it went to shit, and when we thought it was all right again, and then whatever. But no, I think people just trust in the tunes, really. So we've got a few dates that we're going to announce next week. We've got another London show in June, Amersham Arms, South London. I think it's confirmed, so I can say that. I got the reply earlier. So Amersham Arms on June 12th in London. Obviously, that'll be socially distanced. So it'll be, I think it's all. We've not done a socially distanced one, even though we've had them planned and then they've been cancelled. But everyone sits at tables and it's a bit chilled, so it's not quite the same. But you know,
do you know what? That'll work for an acoustic act or a fucking classical singer.
Yeah,
it'll work great for them. But someone's going to go in and play a big noise.
Exactly. Despite we put that acoustic thing up earlier, and I'm glad you like it.
I urge anyone to go check that out. It's fucking decent.
Thank you very much. Nice one. Yeah, it's on all our pages now, but we're certainly not going to play like that live. We're very banging, to be honest. We're going to be playing groovy bangers all the way, definitely. But so we've got that book June 12th. We're looking at, basically, we want to try and fit in as many gigs as possible at the start, but you can't have too many in the same sort of city or patch because of promotion. You want to sell tickets. So we're looking at gigs in Birmingham. We're looking at gigs in Leeds, obviously my hometown. So I've got a few connections there that I'm going to tap up and sort stuff out. But that's been the promising thing, and the beautiful side of the internet and streams and stuff. We're able to see where the song's gone down pretty well. Birmingham's been a good city. Glasgow, it seems to go down well. Leeds is another one. Maybe that's just
Leeds.
My mum and all the mates and all the family in it. Do you know what I mean? Hopefully, people of Leeds will see this somewhere along the way and go, hang on, he's Leeds him, and jump on it. You know what I mean? We're a proud city, so we'll be doing some gigs soon, definitely.
Exactly. Before you go, I mean, what I'll say is that you all need to be, in my opinion, proper prepared now. Because I think keep your voice warm, keep your vocal, honestly, because it's just I think it's genuinely going to happen. And I think when they do open this time, mate, it's not going to be this and that, not drinking till after 10. They want to open up, mate, and they want to fucking open up. Do you know what I mean?
Right, fucking right. And you know, it's been harder for small venues than it has been maybe anyone else, really, and the ones that survive all of this,
they have to open up, mate, because
they're going to go
venues. They won't cut it for small venues. They won't last because they can't do these times. They can't do it because it means less money. They will just fall to the ground. They have to open up properly, mate.
Of course, man. And you know what? It's exactly what you said earlier, in that you know, we won't take it for granted again, will we? And I used to, I'd be like you, who's that band? Never heard of them. Nah, I'm not bothered. I'll stay in pub. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Next time someone says to me, oh no, check these out, I'll be like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And we need to, but rest assured, we've got so much to come. And honestly, these first 4 singles are produced by us as a band in this very room I'm talking to you in. So they're produced in my spare room in my flat in London. They've been mixed by a really good producer in Leeds. But basically, we've got so much better coming. Like, we've recorded 3 tracks in Leeds just gone, and they're going to be our summer releases, and they're really groovy, very much Happy Mondays kind of Primal Scream in the 90s inspired tunes, and we're fully intending on getting them out this summer and having a big old knees up and smashing the gig scene. So there's loads to come from us, and if people are liking these first 4 releases that are done at home, then honestly they're gonna absolutely love us come summer, because we've got a lot coming, and I'm massively confident in what we're putting out. So it's going to be a good year for us, definitely.
Are you going to offer to come and let me do a little live interview when I come out? I'll come and see you live, boys. You know what I mean? Whenever that first one is, make sure you message me. And I'll fucking get there. It depends where it is. I mean, I can get to Leeds and stuff. I can get to London's a bit fucking far to go all the time.
Well, if you come
I
to
can
London,
still get down there.
You can crash in the studio, mate. Yeah. I'll get the airbed out behind me.
That is a plan of mine in the future, to do that, to do lives and have a look what a band does. If I can come to the house, and then this is the idea. Look at what you're doing. Yeah. You packing your gear up, getting ready for gigs, going with you to the gig, all that kind of shit. Give you
as long as you muck in, mate, and help us carry the guitars.
I'll muck in. Don't you worry, mate. You carry my microphone. I'll carry your guitar.
Well, that's when you've made it. When you've got someone carrying your guitars, mate. Honestly,
too right, mate. Too right.
Ball ache setting up for a gig.
Listen, mate, you've been an absolute fucking pleasure, mate. I really look
mate.
forward to listening to your stuff. I urge anyone to go and check your stuff out. I love that acoustic on Insta, mate. I mean, it's a good one to listen to spur you on to go listen to the track for me as well. Do you know what I mean? Some people like to do it the other way around, but like I said, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I can't fucking wait to see you live, mate.
No, mate, can't wait.
Give your socials a little bit of a plug, mate, as well.
What's that, sorry?
Give your socials a bit of a plug. What you're on and what you're called and everywhere. Insta, is it? You're on Insta on all Facebook?
Yeah, we're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. I guess we're not giving that much information away. We're quite mysterious in a way, but yeah, we're up on Spotify. We're up on Bandcamp. The YouTube channel's going pretty well. We've got the 3 videos up there, the 2 singles, but also that acoustic session we've done this week, which we plan on doing a fair few more. Just search the Utopiates everywhere. The one and only so far. So yeah.
One and only Utopiates, mate. You can't think of it. Just before we go, what's the idea behind the name of the band then? Who came up with that?
It was me and Luke, basically. We were just like, I like the word utopia, what it means, and just
describe to me what it means, mate, because I tell you, I didn't go to school a lot. Do you know what I mean?
Just finding your heaven on earth, I guess. It's our utopia is escaping in our music. I guess it's just a bit of escapism. And
that's a decent name, that.
Utopia for the masses. Basically, if I'm honest, I just thought it was a cool word, and then we went.
There it is. There it is.
I cut the bullshit.
Listen,
it's a cool word, and we thought of it. We had 20 different ways of spelling it.
We had a bag of chips, and we just got on with it.
Yeah, basically, man. Yeah, but people like it. People seem to like it. I'd say, you know what? It's the first band I've been in where I actually liked the name.
Yeah, it's different. It's actually easy. It's actually easy to say as well. Believe it or not, you read it and you think, "Fucking what's that?" But then when you say it, it's easy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you need to start getting people to say it at gigs. Utopiates. Do you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Utopia for the masses, mate.
Listen, mate, you've been an absolute fucking pleasure. Go and follow all over the internet and stuff like that, and look out for them. And I definitely will see you live, mate.
100%, mate. I look forward to meeting you in person and seeing you at a gig soon. And
we'll have a few pints, mate, and we'll have a chat.
We certainly will. 100%.
Take it easy, brother.
Have a good weekend, mate.
And you, mate. See you now.